Hey Eurovision fam, it's Alesia. And yeah, you might have guessed, no, I am not in Kyiv. But it's okay, because we still have semifinal 1 to talk about. This is who I think is actually going to qualify for the final. Let's talk about it. So I'm going to start off and say that Sweden's Robin is definitely going to qualify. I mean, this act is quality. It's so good. I am expecting this to finish top 5. I mean, the song is really just that good. The performance is just that good. And, I mean, look, let's be real. Sweden knows what they're doing when it comes to Eurovision. They get it, right? Next up, I would have to say now, even though I am not in Ukraine, I have been watching some of the videos of the rehearsals online. I've been reading all the blogs like crazy because, yes, the FOMO is real. But I will say this next act, I was a little bit nervous at first when I heard the studio version. But Isaiah from Australia, it's qualifying. It's going to go to the final. Look, his vocals are amazing, and he just sounds polished. He seems to look really comfortable on stage, and even though he is a young performer, he's definitely bringing polish and professionalism to the Eurovision stage. I expect to see Australia in the final. I don't know how high they'll finish. I'm unsure if this is a top 10 finisher, just because, I mean, we don't really know what exactly is going to happen on the stage completely with all the camera angles. I don't know how televoters will respond to this completely, but I definitely think Isaiah is going to find himself in the final. Next up, it might be a little bit of a controversial pick because, I'll be honest, the reviews for this performer once the act went on stage, they weren't that good. But seeing this second rehearsal just now today, I was able to look at it online. I don't think that there's going to be an issue. And Belgium, yes, you will find yourself in the final again. Look, I don't know where all the hate is coming from. I feel like they added a little bit of meaningful movement, so Blanche isn't just sort of like standing there on stage. They added some nice, movement so she kind of has a place to go and isn't just standing there, but the song is just so good. Now, this song might not finish as high on the leaderboard as we thought it might have before, but the song is too good to be left in the semis. And look, this year isn't as strong as last year. When I was making my top 10 last year, I would say that my 6 through 1 were pretty much all number 1 for me. I loved those songs, and whittling down the list last year to just 10 songs was really, really hard. Really, really hard. This year, it actually wasn't that difficult for me to come up with my top 10, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about semi-final 1, and yes, again, like I said, Blanche, she's going to be in the final. The song's just too good to be left behind in the semis. Next up is a personal favorite of mine. I've liked this song from the beginning, and what they're doing on stage is it's just great. And it's Azerbaijan. I mean, there was no question that Azerbaijan was going to be in the final. Like, I didn't think that that would be possible, but I love what they're doing on stage. It's dark, it's adult, but I still think it is somewhat accessible. I mean, the song has a nice hook. You can hum along to it. I really like this, and I'm just so happy that Azerbaijan is delivering on stage. Next up is Latvia. Latvia is going to be in the final. It's going to be in the final. And yeah, it's a little bit different, but this is like Suicide Squad chic. It's crazy, it's wacky, it's catchy, it's current, it's also forward-thinking. Triana Park is doing something really, really special this year, and I think it's special enough to have some folks at home really gravitate towards it because the song stands out. What they're doing on stage stands out. And yeah, I mean, Latvia, see you in the finals. Next up, I mean, this is a no-brainer. I've been loving this song from the beginning. Portugal. Portugal is going to be in the final. Portugal is going to finish top 5. It is. And if Portugal doesn't finish top 5, it would have to be because of televoters at home. I can't see the jury not appreciating this and not understanding what Portugal is doing. To me, the song is not boring. It is most definitely classic. It is timeless. I love Salvador's kind of quirks on stage, the way that he will deliver this song. I think is going to be perfect. And the staging seems simple, which it should be. And they're not doing anything crazy. So I'm really looking forward to seeing Portugal in the final and maybe even dethroning Italy so we can all go to Lisbon. Next up is Armenia. Okay, I love this song. Artsvik is going to sound amazing. I mean, we're not going to have issues with the vocal. The visual on stage is captivating enough. It's entertaining enough. It's unique enough to stand out. And for me, I mean, Armenia has never won Eurovision before, and I do think their win is coming. And, you know, although I don't know if this is the year, I do expect to see Armenia finishing top 10 for sure. I mean, this song is great, and honestly, I'd love to go to Armenia for Eurovision. So kudos to you, Armenia. See you in the final. Next up is Poland. Look, Kaja sounds great. She looks beautiful. The staging isn't doing anything amazing, but, you know, the song is good. The song is quality enough. Her vocal is good, and it's strong. The diaspora is going to come out for this song, honestly, no matter what. And luckily, they have something quality to put their names and their votes behind. So, yeah, Poland. See you in the final. Next up, now, this might be controversial, and you might think I'm crazy for saying it. But Moldova, I think we're going to see you in the final. This song is both fun, it's of quality, and honestly, like, what they're doing on stage, I really think actually elevates the song. Now, it's not too different from what they did in their national final, but this song's fun, it's catchy, the guys look good, it's a slick performance, and I do actually think it's gonna creep its way into the final. I don't think the juries are gonna tank it, and I also think that televoters are gonna get behind it. So Moldova it's sort of a borderline, but I do think it is actually going to make it into the final. Now, lastly, this is my 10th slot, and I'm gonna go ahead and say that I don't think this song should be in the final. I think the song is very plain. I've also heard the rehearsals, and the vocalist is really not delivering. And the crazy thing is, the song's not even vocally challenging. So if you can't even hit your own notes on a song that is pretty damn simple, that's a problem. And it's not okay. And I'm just going to go ahead and reveal this, but Greece, you shouldn't be in the final. But I do think that Greece is going to wind up in the final. Look, the song is perfectly fine. It's nothing really wildly offensive about it. It's nothing really wildly crazy about it. The song is fine. Now, what they're doing on stage, the staging is pretty amazing. The staging is pretty cool. And I do think that the fact that the song is nice and the fact that the staging is really, really strong end up making up for the fact that really the song is not that challenging, and Demi is clearly not that strong of a vocalist because she has not been holding out that note or hitting it on pitch. And you can argue with me in the comments about it, but I mean, the evidence is there. Like, she's pitchy like the whole entire time that she's singing. That's just a fact. So I don't think that this song deserves to be in the final, but I think it might sneak its way in there. Now, if I had my way, I would eliminate Greece from here, and I would personally like to see Albania, Finland, or Iceland take that slot. And, you know, as much as I like Moldova, I would be willing to let Moldova stay in the semi if it made way for Iceland, Albania, or Finland. My borderline qualifiers are Iceland, Montenegro, Albania, and Finland. I really would like to see Montenegro in the final just because I think it's such a fun act. But, I mean, it definitely could stay in the semis and I wouldn't be that upset with it. Iceland is a personal favorite of mine. I really like Svala. I really like the song. But I understand if it doesn't make it out of the semi. But I really, really like that song. And I will be sad to see Iceland go this year. Albania, I mean, Lindita's voice is amazing. Her voice is so good. And I just think lyrically, I have a difficult time connecting with the song. I just think the lyrics are a little like, why couldn't we just at least stay on the same theme as Bote? I liked the translation of Bote. I liked that theme and that story that it was telling, as opposed to this, what's the final fall? What's the cost of love? I mean, it's like, no, but I do love Lindita. I think she's a very charismatic performer. I think she is very talented. Her voice is amazing. But I don't know if this is going to actually make it to the final. And it's sad. It's sad, but I just don't think it's going to make it. Finland, I have said from the beginning, I think Finland's song is good. But I do not think that this song is going to resonate with voters at home. I think juries will give it some points, but I do think the song largely becomes forgettable when we're looking at the rest of the bunch. And I think even acts like Moldova, which, yes, is a little bit more kitschy than what Finland's doing, and what Finland's doing is a little bit more serious and it's more adult. And it's good. I just think that because Moldova is kind of taking the risk, I think that will pay off for them, because Blackbird to me is good, but I don't think that it's a risky song. I actually think the song is oddly quite safe. So those are my picks for who's going to qualify for semifinal 1. Do you agree with me? Talk to me in the comments below. Do you disagree with me? Talk to me in the comments below. It's almost here. Eurovision 2017.